Ruh-roh, Raggy! There's a roast!
Like, Zoink Scoob, where's there a roast? It's not even Christmas.
No, Raggy! It's a roast!
Like, Scoob, are we talking roast beef or roast turkey?
No, Raggy! It's behind you, the roast!
A roast behind me? Like, Zoink Scoob, that's not a roast, that's a ghost. And welcome back to another episode of Crypts and Corks. I'm your host, DJ, and I didn't prepare anything to say beyond that, along with my co host.
Oh, and I didn't prepare anything to say after that either, so we're on equal time today, but work will do that to you, and that's fine because we
Yes,
do have a very, very special episode today.
yes, nobody wants to hear us talk about ourselves. They want to hear all about our wonderful guest returning for another trip around the pod. She is one of the co hosts of one of our favorite paranormal podcasts, Paranormal in Pennsylvania. Everyone, give a warm round of applause to Erica. Welcome, Erica.
Hi, thank you guys so much for having me. I'm so excited to be back. It
Of
has been a long time. It's been like 2 years? A
two
year?
years, yeah.
2 years.
Yeah. We've had David on like after that, but like yeah, since you've been on, it's been a little bit since we've had you actually on, but we've had various members of well actually Sarah hasn't been on since then either.
Yeah, it's honestly, I loved that episode with David. That was such a good episode.
It was so much fun. But yeah, it's so awesome to be back and to have one of the spookiest girls in all of Pennsylvania here with us. It's always a pleasure.
It is always a pleasure to be on, guys. Thank you.
Yeah,
Anytime,
yeah.
you're always welcome on board. So,
So how has the spooky world been treating you? How has your paranormal life been going?
Good. We are talking about one of the like exciting parts of the whole world today, which is great. We've been doing more investigations, which I think has like really elevated our experience a lot. It just has been, I feel like that has been what we've been focused on this season. And that always makes me feel more connected to the places we talk about. So it's been super cool doing that. And then I was just telling Sarah that I'm trying to get more, like me personally, I'm trying to get more into like hedge witchery of like doing rituals to try and connect more with the other side. So when we do the investigations, I feel like I'm more connected.
that is so fucking cool.
Right. I love that. Yes, incorporating the witchy stuff into your investigations. That's so cool.
Yes, it's been really fun. Sarah and I have been talking about doing like a nature ritual at one point, which I think would be so cool because I just feel like, the outdoors, you're really going to connect with the universe, like in the
Absolutely.
forest, is what I need.
No,
Yes.
that's so cool. I keep telling Paul I want to like bring my tarot deck to an investigation because I've seen like experiences where you can like get spirits to like interact with you through the deck. So one of these times,
Yes.
but you can't do it like anywhere that where you're like paying for the investigation because they're like no Ouija boards, no
Oh, yeah.
tarot cards, no devil cards.
Right. Right.
Not devil cards. That's crazy.
They are not.
I came up in the Catholic Church. I once had a guy, not a priest, a layman, a civilian, try to tell me that yoga could lead to demonic possession.
That's crazy.
That's probably the one of the craziest I've heard. For me, it was when I was a teenager, I was really obsessed with Twilight, and that was like I couldn't be religious and like Twilight because that meant that I was okay with not an afterlife because they live forever.
That's why.
Um, I don't think that was the point of those books.
I don't think so. I really don't think so. That was not the part I was focused on, but
Well, that's very similar to those like folks who think Harry Potter's the devil and like it's devil worship. It's very that.
It's like we're talking about magic, which I hope exists, but we have not seen it exist yet. So it's fiction as of now.
But one day.
I
Yeah.
mean, one of my favorite quotes is that intention plus action is magic. And I mean, that's applicable to Wiccan ritual or Jewish ritual or Muslim or Hindu or Catholic. I mean, we all talk about like the witches doing candle magic, but like, have you ever walked into a Catholic church and seen all those candles around the Blessed Mother? The
Yes.
sacred female?
And they are beautiful. It's like a
Mhm.
very beautiful scene.
Yes, it is. But let's move away from
Yeah.
because we
Yeah.
could be here all night talking about this,
Yeah.
and I'm literally leaving for Massachusetts tomorrow, and I'm not packed. So what is everyone drinking? It is a BYOD, because for those of you who are just listening audibly, we are on Zoom. So Erica, if you'd like to start us off,
Sure. I have a very fun looking drink that is simply cool blue Gatorade.
love it.
I love that. I love
Hydration.
Gatorade.
I
Blue's my favorite
love
flavor too.
Gatorade. It's so good. I've been getting back into it recently. You know what I really like? The twist top ones.
Yes.
Mm,
Love those.
Yes, those are
feel it.
fun.
We're getting back into Gatorade in 2026, so y'all better lock in.
Paul, what are you drinking?
So I am drinking something very different.
No.
I am drinking a lemonade, and it's a devil spiked lemonade.
Ooh.
It's one of my favorite hard beverages because I think the picture on it is so cool. And it doesn't taste the best, but I always feel so cool when I drink it. And honestly, I've said this before on the podcast, but I would definitely date the guy on the can because he's like the tattoo piercing guy, the cool guy for sure. But yes, Deviled Spike Lemonade is what I am drinking.
I'm so glad that you said that you would date him because I was about to blurt that out, that you would date that man.
I don't know why, but the image reminds me of Danny Phantom a little bit. Like Danny Phantom if he got pierced.
Yes,
It is.
it
It is
is.
getting Danny Phantom all grown up,
Yeah.
and he's worked at Hot Topic for a little bit.
You can't tell me that Danny Phantom did not work at Hot Topic for a little bit.
Right. Him and his cool goth girlfriend. I forget what her name was on the show, but his cool goth girlfriend. Get into that.
That was the thing.
Yeah.
I'm drinking a vodka and squirt, and I'm also really glad that
Ooh.
Paul is also drinking alcohol because when he just said lemonade, I was like, shit, am I an alcoholic showing up to this and drinking booze and no one else did?
Uh,
No, you're not an alcoholic yet. We still have a couple years.
Glad to hear it. Well, here's to ya. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, that'll get you right.
All right, Erica, I didn't think we were doing this the last time you were on the pod, but we've started ranking all of our drinks from one to five grapes, five being best, one being the worst. How would you rate your drink?
I would say a four.
Okay.
I would say a four because the ice has melted a little bit, so it's a little bit,
Yeah.
you know. But
Mhm.
I do enjoy Gatorade. Usually it's a five.
Okay.
Ew.
Paul.
I'm gonna give mine's definitely I'm gonna give mine a five today because overall presentation, the lemonade is the best flavor of this brand, and it's like kind of hot out. So lemonade on like a hot summer's day, awesome. Plus the alcohol content, awesome. So I'm gonna give mine five grapes.
Very nice. I'm also going to give mine five grapes because I drank this a lot in my civilian life.
Civilian life, what does that even mean?
I just around the house. This is
When you
what I
say
make.
a vodka squirt, is that like what is in it?
Oh, okay. So Squirt is actually the name of a grapefruit soda. So it
Oh,
so it's like vodka dash squirt, like vodka dash Diet Coke, but it's yeah. See, I've never had somebody think it's a real cocktail. They normally just laugh because I say vodka squirt.
I was thinking like I almost when I saw it, I was like, oh, it kind of looks like mixed with margarita mix, but I was like, no, I think that's a vodka sour.
So it's because right now Paul's on my screen, it does look a little green, but that's just the reflection.
Yeah.
It's like an opaque, and then it tastes kind of like Sprite, but if Sprite
Ooh,
was like grapefruit based.
that sounds good. Like
Yeah,
refreshing.
it's very hard to find. Rose is
Fresca?
Fresca.
Fresca. Never heard of it.
Well, with that, shall we begin?
Yes.
Let's dive right in.
I am so excited.
Today, we're doing a very special episode where we're recapping some of the most haunted experiences any of us have ever had as we were boots on the ground investigating a place that is infamous for its paranormal activity. After a special collaboration between Paranormal in Pennsylvania and Crypts and Corks, we're here for the official debrief of Pennsylvania's own Hillview Manor.
Woohoo!
Yes, I loved that intro.
Thank you. You told me that I had to write one and I forgot to write it, so I improv that entire thing.
That
Oh,
was
that,
great.
yeah, that was
All the
better than what I would have written.
all those dramatic pauses were just me thinking. Oh, so before we get into our own experience, I do have just like a brief little history here. And if I leave out anything major, either of you please feel free to just break in and correct me or add something. So
Before
it,
you start, sorry, before you start,
yeah,
I just want to add that we're doing a brief history because we encourage you all to go do the history tour at the actual Hillview Manor and support them. They give you a very, very great in-depth history at actual Hillview Manor. So that's why we're just doing a very brief history here.
yes, and I can scratch that bullet point off my notes now.
Sorry.
It's okay. You hit it up right up front. I was gonna wait till the end. But anyways, so the building that is now known as Hillview Manor opened in October 1926 as the Lawrence County Poor Farm. And so Poor Farm, it was a place for the mentally ill, the severely destitute, and the elderly with no one around to care for them to go and the county would basically take care of them. But not for free. You had to basically pay for your room and board by working on the farm. And anyone from like recently released criminals to orphans were just dropped and left here. The first warden was a man named Perry Schneider, who ran it with his wife Mary, and they ran the farm with a very firm hand from its opening until for nearly 20 full years to 1944. They ran a super tight ship, like I said. They called the residents inmates. They weren't allowed to have their own names. They were referred to strictly by their admittance numbers. And men and women were not allowed to mingle whatsoever. They had totally separate quarters, different um, social spaces, and like they didn't even want you socializing to begin with, like even if you were of the same sex. Now, they did leave under a cloud of suspicion and scandal. For more on that, visit Hillview Manor. But it continued running as a poor farm until the 50s, 60s, and when it started to transition into a senior citizen living center. And it was in the 1960s and 70s that the building was renovated and modernized. Including in the modernization efforts was the infamous One North wing of new rooms, a new long cafeteria and kitchen complex, and a large basement was also added to the building. After completion, it was renamed Hillview Manor after a competition was held. And it continued to run as a senior citizen home until financial issues caused it to be closed in 2004 and it was put up for auction. After that, it was sold privately, and the theory is that it was intended to be turned into luxury condos. But the sale fell through, and the building sat vacant for over a year before, in 2005, it was open for historic and haunted tours. Now, this site is like probably the famous that Paul and I have ever been to. I don't know about Erica, Sarah, and David wasn't able to join us on this one, but it's been featured on Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures, Destination Fear, and Portals of Hell, and that's just naming the most famous of the shows and people who have visited, other than, of course, Pip and Crypts and Corks.
And none
I
of that.
agree. I think this was like one of the biggest, if not the biggest.
Yeah, it was spooky. Like, not like spooky ghosts, spooky as in, like, it was weird being somewhere that I'd seen on TV, where I'd seen, like, other people doing the same thing that I was doing. And definitely for the first hour, I had an inferiority complex.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah.
So, what was your first impression, Erica, when you first pulled up to Hillview Manor? What was your first impression of like the building, or even your first impression upon walking into the building?
I think seeing the building at first, it was bigger than I expected. So I try to, if I know I'm going to a place, I try not to look up pictures. So I had like in my head what it was going to be and seeing like the separate wings and the sides of the building. Um, it was just massive. And then walking in, the first thing I noticed was the gift shop because gift shops are my fave. Um,
Yes.
And the front part of it's really cute. They have like I said, the gift shop is like to the left. Yes, left. And then they have like the waiting room where you can put your stuff to the right, which was really cool. And really you get to see it once you walk through those like double doors. Um, and that's where for me I was like, "Oh, this is kind of a spooky place even if we weren't doing a ghost investigation." I was one of like the quietest, darkest places I think we've been.
Yeah, it was really shocking how close we were to a very public road that wasn't super busy, but it was busy enough, and I never once the entire night heard a car.
Yeah.
This investigation was special for me too. Like going back to what DJ said about it being on Ghost Adventures and everything, this felt like our first like real big investigation for Crypts and Corks in like a place you see on TV. You pull up, it's huge, and then you go inside. It's like abandoned, run down, exactly what you would see on like Ghost Adventures or something. Like, of definitely a little intimidating at first, and definitely like once you get inside, the aura is so like creepy. You feel like you're almost in a horror movie a little bit.
Yeah, it was, what's the one with the haunted hospital? The Hills Have Eyes, or
Oh,
it was especially that hallway at One North where it's just like reaching off into the distance.
yes, I did. I almost felt because like when you're looking down that hallway, there are exit signs.
Hmm.
In to me, those were kind of creepy because they gave off some light, but I could almost like in my head imagine something coming through those, like coming through the darkness down the hallway. It was scary. I was definitely like thrown off a bit while we were in there. Just in general, like not even just, not even considering like the hauntings that we experienced or anything, just the vibes.
Yeah.
Right. And what's cool about the private tours, we keep talking about how huge this building is. And what's cool about the private tours is you get that whole building to yourself. So you kind of have to really quickly brainstorm, like, after they do the history tour, what place you think you're going to get the most activity. And there's so many places to choose from. You just want to go to the mall.
Yeah, we had to be very strategic because we had 4 hours. Mm,
Yes.
because let's see, we the tour started at 7
Yes.
and
And
went
then it
till
was
8, and
11.
then 8 till 11 we had to
Yes.
investigate. So like 4 hours, and this place was huge. It's the main body of the building, which is 3 floors. and
Mhm.
then the two main wings, or the two original wings, which are 2 floors each, and then one north, which is 2 floors, plus a basement.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a
Yes.
lot. And
Yeah. And we never found the embalming room, right? At the end, we were all like
No.
looking for it and like could not, it felt like it disappeared off the planet.
Yeah,
right.
because it is an old building and it's dark and it's like abandoned, and it was a hospital or a clinical type building. Everything looks the same, so getting turned around in circles in the dark at nearly 11 o'clock at night. I
Yeah.
think that was the scariest part for me.
Well, were you going to say something, Erica?
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, let's get right into the investigation. So we did the history tour, and then the first room we started out room was sorry, the first room we started out with was the boiler room with a ghost named Eli, who was like an old mechanic or something. I forget exactly what he did, but he was like a mechanic or a maintenance person or something who died.
The
Um,
stoker, the boiler stoker.
hmm,
Not
and
to be
he
confused with stroker, which is what Paul is.
Yes, yes. And I think maybe I did relate to Eli because Eli was an alcoholic too. There was something weird that I related to Eli for, and that's why I suggested we started there first. Because I don't know, I felt something interesting, like a connection or something with Eli. Now, surprise, surprise, Paul feels a connection to the alcoholic. Whatever, make your jokes. But yeah, we started in that room and we set up our equipment, and we like quickly realized that Hillview Manor is like the place of 1,000 cat balls because we got most of our evidence from cat balls.
Yeah, and I mean, I did have an experience. Paul, I think you were outside of the room by the time I said it, because so let's just go back. We're in there. We have the lights off, but it's still daylight, so and there's windows. Um, and we're just like trying to get something. And we were standing in a circle, and I was like, my back was to the boiler. And first I felt it didn't feel like a human hand. It just felt like a sensation of like something on like cupping my butt. And they did say that like men and women do feel as if they're caressed or whatever in that room. And I thought, okay, like they said that, and I'm always paranoid in investigations that I'm gonna get touched. So like this is just my imagination putting tricks on me. And then a couple minutes later, it feels like somebody took a finger and like up the small of my back. And I'm like, okay, and like I'm really imagining it. Like, but what really did for me is we turn the lights on and we're leaving, and something tugs on the strap of the backpack because I had our ghost hunting bag, and I thought Erica was behind me and I thought I bumped her. And so I whip around and I'm like, sorry. And Erica's clear across the room looking at something. And then I went, okay, guys, I got touched 3 times in this room. Like, it's been debunked.
Man, maybe you have the connection with Eli. Maybe he wasn't messing with me. Maybe he liked you.
I wouldn't say we had a connection. I would say he would like to have connected.
I was also glad that we started in that room because I guess when night falls, there are bats. I don't know if you both remember them saying that,
Yeah.
but like
Oh
bats
yeah.
flying in and out. And I was like, I have already done the rabies vaccine. I don't want to do it again. I'm good.
What do you
Oh,
mean you don't want to revisit rabies? Come on,
oh
Erica.
God.
No.
And is it
It was
Sarah?
not fun.
Is it Sarah who's afraid of bats?
I am afraid of birds,
You're afraid of birds. Is
but I
somebody?
think maybe it is Sarah who's like scared of
I
bats.
thought somebody was like actually afraid of bats, because I know like we heard something like off in the there's like a little staircase up to the, it's a very short staircase and it leads to outside because they would keep the wood and the coal out there. And we like heard something like flapping around in there, and I just remember like somebody flinching like, is it a bat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing I remember most about that room is a cat ball did go off. And that's the only thing I remember about that room. But the cat ball did continue to go off when we went into the next room, which was Lester and Jimmy's room. And they were the two friendly spirits. I think that was on the second floor when we that
No, it was the third floor and it was the morgue.
okay. And that's where Lester and Jimmy are, that
Yes.
area.
Hmm.
Well, we were trying, and I feel like we didn't the cat balls did go off in that room, but they weren't going off to like specific questions, if I remember correctly.
Not
Right.
really. It it was like semi-intelligent. Sometimes it would answer questions, sometimes it was just like, wow, look at these things light up.
Yeah.
Honestly, same though. That would be me in the afterlife. Like, wow, so pretty. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Which and so and I think that's where we had our and like we probably looked ridiculous all jumping up and down on that floor to see like like what type of movement is gonna make these things go off. And I definitely thought like I did my first jump and I was like halfway up there and I was like, if I go through this floor and I break Hillview Manor, I think I gotta quit being a paranormal investigator because I was like, wait, this is an old, essentially abandoned building. Should I be jumping?
Falls through the floor, becomes a whole different type of evening.
Oh my gosh.
Uh,
But you got to do that stuff as a paranormal investigator to like debunk things because we didn't know if one of us accidentally set off the cat balls we had like laying around. So you have to like jump around sometimes and like test things like that. And that's what we were doing.
Right.
No. And actually, while we're talking about it, outside of that room, there was a nurse's station. And specifically, and the only reason I really remember this is because it was in the video you guys posted on your channel, which go watch that video. It's
it's
amazing. You guys
amazing.
did an amazing job on that video. We're going to link it down below. And if I can figure out the technology, link it here on the YouTube video. There's one specific point there at we're standing at the nurse's station and you ask, is this a nurse? And then the cat ball goes off, which I thought was really cool and really crazy.
Yes, it because I was thinking is where we had the cat balls and the one that was going off. I was like, it feels like it's coming from the inner part of it rather than because, like you had said, it's a nurse's station. And I was like, I feel like there's something like in the nurse's station.
Mhm.
And then I did the same thing. I don't know if you guys remember, but I was like banging on the thing because I was like, did I set this off? Because I was
Mhm.
like kind of leaning on the desk a bit. But
Mhm.
no, I remember like punching it and then being like, I am not strong enough to be punching something this hard, so I don't know why I did that.
Right. No, that was cool. That was a really great piece of
Yeah.
evidence. Yeah.
I oh
Go ahead.
sorry. I was just gonna say, Eric, I just remember you getting all of the responses as we stood at that nurse's station. Like you were in deep conversation with that spirit.
It was that was a really cool experience. And coming after, because I don't know if you remember, but the room before when we were in the morgue, that's the first time the fire alarm went off.
Yes.
Yes.
And Zach and I went downstairs and I was kind of shaken up because I was like, oh my God, like one of us or Zach, because he was out there, like set off the fire alarm. And so that was a very calming experience after coming down from hearing the fire alarm for the first time. So it was a good time, like a well-timed conversation for me and hopefully for the spirit.
That's good. Yeah, when we're in the morgue, that was the first time the alarm went off. I think we're all super shaken up by it. But also the vibes up in that hallway, which they did say on the tour, like there's a chair right there by the staircase, and like sitting there, you can like just see a lot. And while we were doing our little question and answer session, I kept hearing footsteps in other parts of the floor where no one was. And like I didn't want to say anything to like ruin the camera thing, but like if anyone's looking around, that's why I kept going like, and I was like, did no one else hears like the footsteps like down the hall?
And you were like, I mean, you were the closest to that hallway, right?
Hmm.
Like, yeah.
Because I sat in that chair.
Yes. Yes.
Maybe it's the chair. Like maybe that's the catalyst and not that spot.
Maybe. Because those were their chairs, right?
I'm not sure if it was their chair. Maybe. I mean, it could have been and just got moved.
maybe.
And just really quick, I do want to take a moment for Jimmy and Lester because they seemed like the funnest spirits there. They were apparently like tricksters in life and they would steal golf balls, right? While they were like, and like make the golfers pay them to get their
Yeah,
golf balls back.
yeah, they would wait till there's a golf course right by there. And so when it was a nursing home, they would hide in the bushes and wait till the golf balls flew into the bushes and they would pocket it. And then they would just kind of stroll out and the golfers would say like, "Hey, like while you're walking, did you see a ball come through here?" And it's like, "Oh no, but we walk through here all the time and balls go missing. I'll sell you one for $1." And the other thing they would do is when, like, they'd always have a camera and visitors visiting grandparents, aunts and uncles, etc. And so they'd be like, "Hey, if you give me $1, like, I'll take your picture, and when I get it printed, I'll mail it to you." And the film had, or the camera had no film in it. So, we did try using trigger objects. We tried a cigarette because it would either be give me a cigarette for the picture or the golf ball, or we also tried $1 because that was the other bargaining chip. But I feel like we got a little something with it at the end where we said like we're gonna leave this for you, and then like the cat balls start lighting up again.
Yes. Yeah. I remember that too. It was like at the end.
That was so cool. And I do remember like watching the video back, like after you asked if it was a nurse and it lit up and it did light up. Someone, I think it was Sarah, said, "Okay, you guys can keep the cigarette and stuff for like making that light up. Thank you guys so
Yeah.
much." No, but I know we briefly just mentioned about the alarm. While we were investigating, the alarm, see, it's a building that's like inhabited by people. So of course there's fire alarms like set up and everything, and they are super loud.
Love it. Because even the blue flower.
And anytime they would go off, I would jump. And after the first time it went off, we didn't know what was going on. So again, Erica went down to investigate and came back and they were like, "We don't know what's going on." And it just continuously kept going off for like an hour, right?
Yeah. It
Oh,
had to have gone
yeah.
off like 35 to 40 times because I feel like it went off at some point like every minute.
Yeah, it was so crazy because it started, that first one happened like so soon in to the investigation, and then we didn't hear it again for nearly an hour.
Yes.
And then it was like every 3 minutes, it had to be like when you were going into the closet on the second floor.
Yes. Yes. There was a point at which I was like, is this paranormal?
Right, right.
Because the first time it went off was like DJ, like you said, jarring for everybody.
Hmm.
And then the second and third times that it happened, it was me and Sarah's mom in that closet. And every time we would shut the door, it would go off.
Yeah, and
And so we came back out and then we shut the door and it went off again. So we came out and then I think the third time it finally didn't go off, but then like a few minutes in it went off.
it was, yeah, once it went off, like as soon as you shut the door. The second time, it was like 30 seconds after you shut the door. So then you all came out and you shut the door from outside to see like if it was on a trigger because they
Yes.
just had a break-in beforehand and they were like, yeah, like don't lean up against any windows or doors because they're all like tripped and like you will set off alarms. And so it's like maybe this is one of the things that like got censored, but that wasn't it. So that was like the fourth time the door closed and everything like was quiet for like a good minute and a half and then it went off. And I literally went, "Nope, I'm done."
I was like, I'm not going back in there. I'm good.
I think I like I led the charge down the stairs. I was like, "Nope, nope, nope."
And can we take a moment for just like the general vibe of that place of the manor, like the owner's place? And DJ hinted at them, like them having scandals and things, which we won't go too much into. But that area to me kind of felt like the darkest area of the manor.
I agree.
Yes, especially that closet because I don't know how much we want to give away
Um,
history wise.
I
Some
mean,
bad.
if you and
Go ahead.
I mean, yeah, get into it.
I was just gonna say that closet I know is where they had punished women and children.
Yeah. And I don't think I actually went into the closet at any point. But I do remember like when this was all starting, Paul wanted to do something like to try and talk to the owners in their suite. And I was like, nah, I'm not coming in there. I was like, the vibes are off. And I am like a very sensitive person. It's like, nah, the vibes are off. And so I couldn't tell if it was like the closet that was making it go off or whether it was like us like being in their room.
Yeah.
Honestly, for a moment there, I did think like the spirits just didn't want us in the manor, and this
Yeah.
was the spirits' way of telling us, y'all need to get out of here.
Yeah.
Like,
And then as it kept going, I was like, oh, it's a faulty alarm.
Yeah, yeah.
right.
One crazy thing though about it was that the one time I was like in the lobby and I did see the panel as it went off and it did say it was a manual pull and not like a
Oh.
sensor alarm. Um, which means that somebody like something was triggering like somebody had pulled it and I was like that's crazy. And so I think it was Zach and I were standing outside because we were both like just really like anxious from the noise. And he was like, it must be like a faulty sensor. And I was like, I don't know because it says like manual pull on the
Yeah.
screen. Um, unfortunately, it didn't say like which one. Like, how nice would it be like manual pull handle 10?
Yes.
And there's some schematic where they go, oh, that's like one north, second floor.
Yes. That would have been helpful.
So I do like they were able to say like it was just a faulty alarm. So who knows like what was setting it off.
Right,
Sorry,
right.
my grandmother's yelling me about the president being on TV.
Oh, no, it's okay. I thought
He's
something happened
concerned
and I
too.
was like, did they follow you home?
No, no, no.
Actually, I was gonna make a joke that Sarah wasn't here today because the spirits of Hillview Manor kidnapped her.
Oh my God.
She got by the spirits and we haven't seen her since. Ooh.
She says she's on vacation, but who really
Good for
knows?
her.
Exactly, exactly.
So,
Now, is there any like things like any other things you'd like to say about the closet or like the master bedroom?
The closet, we actually did get cat ball activity in there the second time we went in.
mhm.
So we went in, the alarms were going off, we left, and then later in the night we came back and we had set the cat ball in a very secure location. It was like sitting in this statue. And we were asking questions and it seemed to be responding to the actual questions we were asking. And I forget how it started, but we determined that it was a child, and we were trying to figure out the age, but we weren't getting a lot of responses. And that's when Sarah had the idea to ask if it was possibly an unborn child, and that's when the light went off again. So that was an interesting experience because I wasn't sure, like maybe it was a woman who had experienced um either a miscarriage or a loss.
Yeah, and that was crazy because I know at one point, because all of us guys were standing out in the hallway, or we were right over in the warden suite, and Sarah came in and she was like, "Hey, can you guys like keep it down because like the ghost does not like the sound of men's voices."
Oh
And
yeah.
so I was like, "Oh, it's definitely like one of the women who is in there, like maybe a little girl who is in there, um, who just has that very visceral trauma response, even beyond the grave." But when Sarah came out and was like that, I was like, "Whoa, that's insane."
Yeah. Yeah. And it was that I think was at least except for the nurse's station, I feel like for me like the most responsive cat ball to like the actual questions we were asking.
I agree, I agree. You got some really good activity like in that closet and everything when all the girls went into the closet. And I'd say also the other room where we got some amazing activity was actually Mary's room in One North when we eventually made our way there. And the alarm finally stopped going off eventually. But that was the room with all the necklaces hanging. and we were
Yes.
Yeah,
playing Frank Sinatra. Do you want to tell them what Sarah captured like in that room while we were all outside of the room? Do you want to tell them,
real
Erica?
quick before you do that, I do just want to amend one thing. This was in the not the north wing, but I think the east wing, not one north. It was in one of the main wings.
Oh, thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Yes, so when we weren't in there, there was just cat ball activity going off. And the necklaces at the top were swaying, which
Hmm.
we did hear there were reports of that. So that was like so interesting to get to watch the footage back to see those things happening. I feel like that's like the greatest part about just like leaving a camera recording in the rooms is that, when you're there and you're getting all of the activity that you are in person, that's really cool. But then to get to go back and see if you missed anything, not being in the room was really, really interesting.
That necklace swinging for me was insane. And didn't she also get like something moving in front of the camera as well in that room?
Yeah, in that
Oh,
video,
I'm not remembering that.
very faintly, it looks like I'm trying to think of how to describe it. It's like a white translucent shape. It's very, very faint. I know the first time we all watched it, we were like, it's probably like the alarm flashing, but like it's happening when the alarm's not going off either. And it was on a side of the building that faced woods, not any kind of street. And I showed my uncle's girlfriend because I think like a week or so after this, my cousin's graduation party, and she was asking me about it, and I showed her the video, and she watched it and she went, "Holy shit, I just saw a ghost." Because like she could like I didn't have to point it out. She just saw it and she's like, "Holy shit, I just saw a ghost on your phone."
I can't believe I didn't remember that. I don't know why. I know we talked about it now.
I bet I mean that is one of the pieces of evidence that I'm sure like we could go back and probably like play around with and it'd be easy to debunk if it was not supernatural, but if it was supernatural, it's really fucking cool.
Right.
Yes. Yes. And the Paul, like you said, the necklaces also were swaying while we were in there because DJ, I remember that your head had hit some of them on the
Hmm.
outer part. And I turned around because I remember I was showing you that like World War II
Yeah.
book and your head had hit the top. And so I put the book back and I turned around and I'm watching the necklace swaying and I'm thinking like, oh, okay, well, DJ hit his head on some of them. And then I was like, no, these are in the back. These are
Yeah,
like in the
yeah.
back of the room, not at the front where you had moved them.
Yeah, because there's two beds in there and I hit the one, not Mary's bed, the other one. Mary's bed was behind me, but like beads that I had was nowhere near were
Yes.
swinging behind me. And this place, the windows do not open. There's no HVAC system. Like it's very stuffy in there. So like there's no breeze. Like there was one breeze the whole night in the basement when somebody like went past me too fast and it freaked me the fuck out until Sarah did it again.
Also in that room we were playing the Frank Sinatra music, so that might have like helped the bring the spirits forth, if you will, like because remember they liked Frank Sinatra and Christmas music. We might have like tried to sing Christmas music a little bit. I don't
We
Oh
did. We were singing Jingle Bells in the middle of June.
yeah.
But hey, we got evidence, so I'll sing Jingle Bells all day if it gets me evidence.
Yes.
Speaking of doing crazy things to get evidence, that room in the basement with all the kids' toys
Hmm.
that had the little girl in it, her name was Courtney, and then the older woman whose name was Isabella, those spirits. Do you remember sitting like around, like trying to get Courtney, the little girl, to like come out, and then Sarah starts feeding the baby? I see here we have some really cool bottles. This one looks like it has orange juice. Does your baby like orange juice, Courtney? And for me, that's one of those moments in time where if you take that out of context, and you just look at us like sitting in a circle in the basement while Sarah pretends to feed a baby, it's just like one of the funniest things if you look at it out of context. Do you remember like anything from like that basement room with the kids' toys? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, that was the. It's funny because Zach is a skeptic, like a hard skeptic. Like anything I tell him about, he's usually like trying to debunk it. And in that room, one of us, and it might have been Sarah, had asked, like, what is your name? And Courtney came through so clearly that Zach was convinced there was a speaker somewhere in there, and like someone had come through the speaker and um was like, I can't explain that. Like, there's no way for me to explain it. And then I remember him walking over. I don't know if you remember this.
Wait, is that why he was walking through like all the stuff? Because like I'm just like watching him walk through stuff, and I'm like, damn, this boy is like a mover and a groover.
He was he was searching for that speaker. It was so funny. And then he scared Sarah.
Yes, he did.
Oh my gosh. No, that is
That was
crazy.
that was that was probably one of the most lighthearted moments when Sarah just screamed and she was like, "When did you get there?"
Oh God, yeah.
When she was busy feeding the baby, and I just remember her. Wait, she made a very particular sound with the baby bottle and the baby doll. I can't remember it. I can't do it, but it was a very particular sound, and I remember someone saying, "Do you have to make that noise?" And Sarah, without hesitation, goes, "Yes. How else will she know I'm feeding her baby?"
Correct. You got to get into character.
Exactly. This is serious.
Um, but still, we never learned the doll's fucking name.
No, I feel like we never. And then I think we got like a couple names that we were like, maybe we should check on these, but then we forgot.
It was
Frank, I
there's
think.
Frank, I remember vividly because everyone was like, "There's no way that it just said Frank." But
Yeah.
maybe it's a little boy doll. But the other one was like Sophie or something, like some very traditional girl's name.
Yeah.
Traditional as in old fashioned, not traditional as in patriarchy.
I do just want to say I do relate to Zach like looking for the speaker because I feel like everyone at one point as a paranormal investigator sees something or experiences something that like they don't think is real. Like it seems too good to be true, like some sort of evidence or something you was like witness that just seems like too good to be true, you know?
Yes. Yeah. And with how clear Courtney was, that was kind of crazy.
Right. Those moments like kind of make you question like everything, be like, oh gosh, we're really doing this and this is actually really happening. Like it's kind of crazy. Like it's not just something you see on TV.
Right. Yeah.
Now, do you have anything or DJ2, do you have anything you want to add about that room or the master room before I move on to the next room?
The master room?
The room where the owners used to live, the Manila room,
Not the master room. I
lost.
I just do have one funny anecdote about the leaving that storage room in the basement. And it's we're all getting ready to leave and head over to the other boiler room. There's two boiler rooms, one for the main building, one for one north, because the basement's under one north. And at the end of the hallway, there's double doors with windows on them. And there's a little sign, and it's talking about the hallway, and like you see a ghost cat and ghost kids. And there's also he's called the guard keeper, who sometimes is seen peeping through the windows at in the doors at the end of the hallway. And I'm saying like, oh, like whoever's behind me, I was like, oh, like apparently there's like a spirit who like ducks their head out. And in that moment, I saw a figure like step into the frame of the window, and I went, oh, it's your reflection. Whoever was right behind me like was stepping around me to like look down the hallway, but I was just at this perfect angle where it was perfect, where it just looked like somebody stepped.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, a camera's not running. And then I was like, oh wait, debunked.
We actually just talked on like one of our episodes, like a couple episodes ago, when Sarah was at the Jim Thorpe jail.
Mhm.
Um, all of a sudden the doors in front of her started opening and she was like, "Oh my God." And then her dad was like, "Those are automatic doors, Sarah."
Poor
Oh,
Sarah.
And it's just, it's so funny when that happens
yeah.
because you're so focused on like, oh, okay, like let me look for this. Let me like try to see if I can connect with whatever's here that it sometimes it's like you forget about normal normal
Everyday things,
experiences.
yeah.
Right, right. Did you have anything else you'd like to ask? Sorry, add to either of those two rooms, Erica?
No, no, I think I honestly I think the storage room was probably one of the coolest places just because I like looking at the stuff in there.
I agree. I agree. Another room with cool things was the room with the guy that was also in the basement, the Steelers fan.
The other boiler room, the one north boiler room.
Yeah, we got some really cool evidence there when we started talking about like Steelers anecdotes and things, like because we had the motion sensor set up there, and the sensor started going off when we started talking about those things.
And we are all Pittsburghers, so we like the Steelers
Yes.
and the Pirates and the
Ew.
Penguins.
He didn't like the Pirates.
Oh,
He didn't like baseball.
that's
But-
crazy.
Oh
It
my
lit
gosh,
up.
going up too. I'm
But
so sorry.
You made him mad.
And like we all tried to move where we were standing, to see like if it would go off. And I at one point I even moved across the room because it's like maybe it's picking me up and it still kept spitting out readings when I was no longer in the field.
Yeah, it was I feel like that and I feel like we got some activity and then we all kind of like had a feeling when it was time to go, you
Yeah.
know?
Very that, very that. I don't know. That was one of my favorite rooms. It was just fun talking about all the Pittsburgh things and then to actually get the reaction and stuff. And if you go in that room, they have a ton of like Pittsburgh memorabilia. It's one of the, I don't know, it was one of my favorite rooms.
Yeah. And I think this is a good now time to bring it up because I wanted to bring it up a couple stories ago and I was like, I should wait till like we see this pattern. But I really felt in the entire building, I felt as if the spirits were almost conducting us through because
Hmm.
it seemed like in every space we would start and we would hit it really hard. Like there was no buildup. It was just boom, boom, like we're getting stuff. And then in every room it would die down and it'd be like, okay, like we had a really good experience, like we're not getting too much, you want to move on. And it really felt as if like earlier we were on the tour, as if the ghosts were almost conducting us on their own tour, like, okay, like I'm done now, move on.
Yeah. That's actually a really good point because I do feel like that pattern was like a very much an ebb and flow type
Hmm.
of night.
Yeah, all the way leading up to the end of the night. And it's almost as if the ghosts were like on a timetable because as it got close to 11 o'clock, everything just stopped. And even the feeling in the building, like I felt like all night, like it kind of felt crowded, but like not like, oh my God, like I'm panicking crowd. But like I feel like at around 11 o'clock, like there's this moment of, holy shit, this building's empty except for us. And that was the first time all night that I'd felt that.
Yeah. That's actually a really good point because I feel like even when we went to the north hallway, I still I still felt like there was like stuff going on.
Yeah.
You know, it felt like the hallway was kind of full.
Yeah. I mean, they probably do the private tours at the same time every night. So the ghosts are might be in a routine like, hey, we know if we want to communicate with people, these are the times. I'll just come around during this time, see the folks, do the thing, and then when that time's over, they just go do their own thing.
I wonder if the like actual hospital curfew hours were 11 too.
Oh,
Oh,
It feels late. I don't know that it would be
yeah.
that late, but
I mean, for older folks and things like that, that would probably be a normal bedtime, you know?
Yeah. Or maybe I just feel like most places have like a 10 o'clock curfew, but maybe 11 o'clock was like the time when like, I don't know, nurses like shut hallway lights off to like be like,
uh,
okay, like you're stuck in your room. Like I'm not having it anymore.
yeah.
That's tea. That's tea. Oh, and just one thing, I want to go back to the room like previous. When we had the spirit box going, it did briefly play "Toxic" by Britney Spears, and literally that day, DJ and I recorded part one of our Britney Spears series. So just a little coincidence there.
Yeah, that was
That's
crazy.
really funny.
Right, right. No, but like, so after the Pittsburgh room, we kind of just like floated around and then left. So that was kind of like the last bit of evidence I remember getting, unless you guys remember getting something after that.
Not really. We did though skip over the one north hallway.
Oh, yeah, yeah, because you were telling your dirty jokes there to the spirit.
It was those were no, those were the bad dad jokes. The dirty jokes were in Mary Virginia's room,
Mm.
the
Yes.
blind lady.
Yes.
She did not like my dirty jokes.
I enjoyed them.
Thank you. Paul's probably like, oh shit, don't encourage him.
Oh my gosh. I mean, that's the premise of our podcast is dirty jokes. I mean, not during our investigation episodes, we're a little more serious then, but yeah, no, DJ was there's a scene in the video that you guys posted where DJ's telling a joke and then one of the cat balls goes off, which was really cool.
Yes. Yeah, I was really excited that Sarah put that in.
Yeah, that was a really good moment. And there was something else that happened, like we were talking about something, and then we turned the lights on, and on one of the forms there was something written, and
Oh
it
yeah,
was like I can't remember what was written, but it was just like, holy shit, weren't we just talking about this?
I
Oh, I
don't
can't
remember.
remember either.
Mm,
But
no.
no, that was interesting. Being in that hallway in the dark was super creepy. I was just waiting for like a shadow to stick its head like out of a doorway, and I was like, we're gonna find out if I'm fight or flight because like either I'm noping all the way out of this building or like I'm gonna piss myself if I see something.
Don't they literally call that like the peeking hallway or something? Because they will look out of the doors.
Not that one. It's one of the upstairs hallways and one of the two main building wings. One's like the peeping hallway and one's like the running hallway, which
I'm going to run in
Oh,
the hallway.
right.
Hmm.
I'm really glad we all decided not to go to the running hallway because like I was gonna like nope into another plane of existence. Like I was gonna join the Hillview Manor ghost if something ran at me in the dark.
Yeah, I would not have, especially because I think in my head too, I know that they had unfortunately just had a break in a couple like days before we had been there, like what, like six, maybe seven.
Yeah.
Um, I was like, there's gonna be a real person in here, isn't there?
Right. And that is a real concern when, as paranormal investigators, going into some of these buildings, sometimes the real concern is actual people and not ghosts, because that
Yeah.
can be a lot scarier.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I know Paul and my investigation Point Pleasant for Mothman, we went to the TNT area and we were looking at the igloos. Um, and like Paul's like calling out in them and like playing with the echo, and I'm just like some motherfucking heroin addict's gonna come here and like gonna like go Rambo on us for being in his like little hidey hole stash. And one of our party like stayed back in the car and as we were walking back, like in the dark, you could just like see a figure like slowly like ambling through the woods. And so like I had one of my big heavy flashlights and I like adjusted my hand on it so that I could easily like bring it up and like hit somebody on the head. It was our friend who stayed in the car because he was drunk and that's why he was just kind of ambling through the woods after midnight. He was coming to look for us, but when you're drunk, you just kind of do the shuffle.
Yes.
Jeez. Yeah, definitely would recommend going and investigating Mothman, though. If you guys haven't been to Point Pleasant, it's definitely an interesting place to go and stay. And
Ooh.
you can stay in the Mothman Airbnbs. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, that's so cool.
It is. So 10 out of 10 would recommend. Or maybe we'll make a group trip down to Point Pleasant.
I
It's
was
not too
about to
far.
say, can we do a group trip down for like Mothman Festival?
When is that? I would love to do that.
October, I think. Okay, we need it after we're done recording, we'll look this up and we'll make
Yeah.
plans. We got to get this done.
So, final thoughts, or actually, before final thoughts, Erica, is there any other rooms you would like to discuss before we give our final thoughts on Hillview Manor?
I don't think so. I feel like we covered like the big ones, which is like what I remember because it was so long ago now that I my memory's terrible.
Right there with you, right there with you. So, do you want to give your final thoughts then on like the investigation and experience?
Yes, that was so fun. I'm so glad that we all did it together. I feel like that was such a cool experience. And just getting to be in there and getting to experience, like we had said in the beginning, something so big and something that has been so widely spread in the community was one of like the most exciting experiences I think I've had. I would love to go back, honestly, um, to just see if we can get some of like the same responses or even like different ones depending on the night. I think that would be really cool.
Completely agree. Completely agree. I would love to go back. How about you, DJ? Final thoughts?
Yeah, I would go back. It's definitely gonna. So, just because like I'm a scary cat, those long, dark, clinical hallways definitely gave me bad dreams, like just bad dreams of like endless dark hallways for a couple nights. I'm probably gonna have one tonight thinking all over about it again. But no, it was like some of the best evidence ever that like we've captured and like I feel like I say this every time we do an investigation, but it's so weird because you're sitting in it and it's and you're seeing the evidence and you feel removed like wow, I'm watching like this is just like ghost adventures, but this is real. Zach Baggins isn't manipulating the evidence. And then after the fact you just gotta go like holy shit, I just talked to a dead person. And like that was just that whole night like holy shit, I just talked to a dead person.
Yeah.
Very that, very that. It was definitely one of the coolest investigations I've ever been on. Like I said before, it was like going into one of those places you see in the ghost hunting shows on TV and everything. It definitely was super cool for me. And I also do want to say I am so glad that Sarah and you got so much good video evidence because I went through all of my videos and like I did that unfortunate ghost hunter thing where you go through all your footage and you stare at rooms because I did leave my video camera like in a room by itself just recording. And unfortunately, I didn't see anything. So I stared at blank rooms for way too long and for no reason. So I'm glad you guys got such cool things. And again, go to Paranormal in Pennsylvania's YouTube channel and watch our video on their video on Hillview Manor because it's amazing. You guys did an amazing job and it was an amazing investigation and so much fun. And I am looking forward to hopefully many, many more investigations with you guys because it's just so fun and so fun to be with people who like take it as seriously and everything as we do.
Yes, yeah, 100% agreed.
Friends who ghost hunt together stay together.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Now, keeping in mind, this is going to come out not this weekend, but next weekend, which is the last weekend in July. Do you have anything to promote? Like maybe a ghost tour you're leading?
So we are very, very luckily taking part of an event at Booby's Brewery in central Pennsylvania called Haunt the Readers. And we will be leading a ghost investigation that night throughout the building, if anyone is in the area, and wants to come see us, talk to us, that would be great.
Awesome. And of course, you have your podcast every week, Paranormal in Pennsylvania.
Yes, yes. And that's like anywhere you can get podcasts, just at Paranormal in Pennsylvania. And we've basically this season been doing an episode 1 week where we talk about a haunted location and then a vlog of either an investigation or another kind of spooky thing the week after. So it's like every other week we switch on and off.
Love that.
Very good. And DJ just joined the Haunted Atlas team. That
Haunted
Yes!
US. Yes. I will.
sorry, Haunted US. My bad.
Yes. I'll now be editing articles, which Erica, I believe you do that as well.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Me too. I have a meeting next week. I'm so excited that like I kind of jumped the shark this week with everything. But like next week I'm meeting again with Brandon and Eric.
Mitch?
Mitch, thank you. Thank you. Wow, really jumping the
For
shark
a
here.
second, I was like, me?
No,
It's
I was like,
Eric.
wait, what? A lot of names came up during that last meeting. But I'm meeting with him like Zoom.
They're
Yeah.
fantastic. I'm so excited that you're joining the team. It's such a great group, honestly. Everybody's so kind and the article editing is, in my opinion, so interesting. I love doing
hmm
it.
Yeah,
And
super excited.
where can people go and view that content that you both are a part of?
You
W,
can go to hauntedus.com.
yes.
That's like the main website. And then we also, Sarah and and David also do a podcast for them called Haunted Atlas, which is again available like wherever you can get your podcasts at the Haunted Atlas. So yeah, it's great. They're cool.
Period. Go listen to them on all the things. Yes, because they're amazing, stunning, and legends. Love Paranormal in Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Now, do you guys have any last things you want to add before DJ takes it away with our socials?
No, I think I'm good. I was gonna try to come up with a Scooby-Doo thing, but I can't. I'm too
Oh,
tired.
There's still
going
there there's still
Scoob!
the end of the episode where you can do it. We normally do something after the sign off, but yeah, please let us know your own thoughts. Please connect with us on all of our social media listed down below. All of it's pretty much at Crypts and Corks. Also, if you have personal stories, please feel free to email them to us. Our email's listed below. Paul, where can they find you?
You can find me at my personal Instagram and TikTok at Paulember, Paulember. And as usual, it's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
And if you'd like to follow me, you can do so on Instagram and on TikTok at the real Deej Powers. And until next time, folks, remember to keep your crypts tight.
And your corks loose.
Bye.
Bye. Ruh-roh, Raggy.